What is going on, people? So today we're going to be talking about my journey and what I've learned along the way. So, Jesus Christ. So I've been profitable for about 6 months now, and it's been a long journey. It's been about 2 years since I started using ICT. So let's go over sort of the base psychological things that shifted me from unprofitable to profitable. And it's actually quite funny because you can see the graph on my trade Zeller. You can see it literally. We're going like this, sort of break even, maybe a little bit down, maybe a little bit up, break even, and then all of a sudden it's just like this. It's actually insane. So let's go over what it is that turned me from that to that. I promise you, at the end of this video, by the end of this video, you will be a 10 times better trader and you'll be ahead of that 90% of people. Okay, so let's get into the video. Right, so the reason you are still losing, and trust me, it's not your strategy, bro. A lot of people hope it's their strategy, but it's actually not. An in-depth guide to becoming profitable. So by the end of the video, you'll go from uncontrolled emotional chaos, I know that's you, brother, to calm and logical thinking, okay? We have a nice, cool upwards graph here. So you've been trading for years and still feel stuck, and there's a box there for you. Here's why. Most traders have the right model, they just lack the right framework to execute it properly. Okay, so these 4 principles which you need to take notes on if you want to become profitable. Principle 1, your focus is the problem. Every single mistake you make as a trader traces back to one root cause. You care more about money than the process. So why are you impatient? You want money now. Why over leveraged? You want more money. Every bad decision comes from outcome obsession. Okay, so every bad decision you make is because you are focused on the money and not the process. And not many people talk about this, but the process means actually forming your trade properly instead of just going in balls deep, like thinking of the money, okay, and not thinking of the actual context of the trade and etc. Not many people talk about that. Trading is a process skill, not a results skill. Focusing on money, which is outcome, before mastering this skill ensures emotional decision making. So you're going to be making emotional decisions if you are not focused on the process. You cannot fix FOMO or revenge trading without fixing the root of the issue, your relationship with money. So this is you, a sniper. I don't know if this will affect my YouTube video having a sniper in it, but we'll go with it. Focused outcome, so money focused outcome, and the process is out of sight. So when you have the money in sight and not the process, you can see we have a loss, a win, a loss, and a loss. But here, when it's process driven, we have a large loss instead of these small wins and small losses. We have a large win and very much less trades, okay? Principle 2 is overvaluing your trading. Social media sold you a lie. Lambos, luxury watches, quit your job in 30 days. Come on now. That image is what you carried into your trading, and it's exactly the thing that is keeping you broke. Okay? I know for a fact that I was the same. When I first started when I was 18, for example, I literally was obsessed with the chart, just posting on my story, people thinking that I drive a Lambo. That's all I needed, right? Which is terrible because I was adding my ego into my trading, which is therefore translating to emotional trading. Okay, so tying value to any environment changes how you behave in it. Just like a first date, you stop being objective and start performing. Okay, trading should feel like drinking a glass of water. Routine, boring, mechanical, nothing exciting about pressing a button based on data. Honestly, when I'm trading nowadays, I genuinely find it boring. I'll genuinely sit there and I'll think, oh my god, this is kind of dull. If there is like terrible PA, I'm not going to force anything. I'm actually just going to sit there and I'm going to be like, wow, this is actually really, really fucking boring. I'm literally melting my brain right now. But that is what gets you to that next stage, and not many people understand that if your trading is exciting, then it's not probably good. Okay. The less emotionally charged trading in your head, the more consistent you execute. If trading is cool, it equals emotional trading, and if it's boring, you are most likely to be disciplined. Okay, so you need to go from thinking of $100 million, sitting on a lounge chair on the beach with your laptop, drowning in money, with a Lamborghini and champagne, to sitting at a desk for however long you need to, meditating, and finding that, trading is actually more boring than you imagine. It's the things that you reap afterwards that are the exciting part. Now, principle 3, preserving capital. Trading has a completely different definition of effort. Okay, this is also one of the hardest things for me to absorb when I was coming up. So the trader who sits on their hands and preserves capital is outworking the one glued to charts for 5 hours taking bad trades. Okay, so it's actually harder to sit there and do nothing than to just constantly be placing stupid trades. Okay, so in every other area of life, brute force gets results. In trading, it destroys your account. I've had businesses in the past where you have to work a lot, you have to be constantly on it, and that I thought I could translate to trading because I was very good at that. But it's completely different. So that was very hard for me to understand. 95% of trading is waiting. The work is in the intention to stay still, not clicking. The more you force it, the further success gets. Submission to the process is the strategy. So, what does this one mean first of all? So submission to the process means if you have a trade which there's one thing you don't like, and that is part of the process. Like, that's part of the setup. There's one thing that's not good in the setup. You think, fade it. Just fade it. There's no problem in fading it. You're like preserving capital. If you win, if it does win in the end, oh boo-hoo. What if it lost? Do you know what I mean? So you would have preserved capital, which is way more important than making money. It's preserving money. If you make money but you can't preserve it, you're not going to be profitable. Okay. So rant over. Fisherman 1, patient, one cast, waits for bigger fish. Fisherman 2, constantly casting. The fish don't even have a chance to bite. When he does catch something, it ends up being an old boot. So you can catch big, nice trades if you are patient and you wait for that really good setup. But if you are constantly taking setups, you're not taking high quality setups, and that results in a boot. Now, principle 4, build satisfaction from habits, not results. Green days don't mean you did something right, and red days don't mean you did something wrong. The only metric that matters is whether you followed your process. That is where real success lives, and I cannot stress this enough. So if you're taking notes, which you should be, write this sentence down, please. Please write this sentence down, because it's so important. Made money on a bad trade, that is not a win. Lost on a perfect trade, that's not a loss. Journal every day. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What carries into tomorrow? The habits are the machine, money is the output. Everything else is luck. Farmer 1 waited patiently for crops to grow. He's happy. He's feeling chilled. When the season comes, he's going to reap the rewards. But this guy, Farmer 2, he yanked up crops to check if they were growing. He's killed the crops he was impatient, and therefore he killed the crops. That is the difference between a patient trader and a good trader. Okay, so let's go back over some of these. So if you made money on a bad trade, the reason why it would not be a win is because you didn't stick to your process. Okay, so you need to be focusing on that process in order to grade your trades. Okay, journaling every day, very, very important. That's how you're literally going to understand what you're doing right and wrong. And the habits are the machine. Money is just the output. So the habits of filtering your trades properly, that is what makes you the money, which then you can reap the rewards. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I do have a free Discord down below. Also, shameless plug, I do have a mentorship. So if you guys are interested, I would love to work with you guys one-on-one to help you become the best possible trader and version of yourself I can. So all in all, thank you for watching, and peace.